Dennett, for example, has argued the multiverse theory, which states that it is possible there are countless other universes in addition to our own. Each universe has different properties, different laws, and different values of the basic constants of physics. And given countless other universes, Dennett thinks all the possible distributions of values over the cosmological constants would have been tried out. As it happens, we find ourselves in the one universe where the constants are such as to allow for the development of life. And this explanation could be true and explain why everything appears to be finely tuned. However, there is no guarantee that the process, which produces endless amounts of universes, would randomly set all the parameters in a way that every possibility is realized. It could be that there are constraints on the characteristics of these many universes, and the production process itself would have to be finely tuned in some way to guarantee that we get enough variety of universes. Also, suggesting there is an infinite number of universes just to explain our own is contrary to Occam's razor, which is the principle that says the best explanation is the one that makes the fewest assumptions. Arguing there is an endless amount of universes makes far more assumptions than arguing for an intelligent designer. Richard Swinburne says, "It is the height of irrationality to postulate an infinite number of universes, never causally connected with each other, merely to avoid the hypothesis of theism. Given that simplicity makes for prior probability, and a theory is simpler the fewer entities it postulates, it is far simpler to postulate one God than an infinite number of universes, each differing from each other in accord with regular formula, uncaused by anything else." So there are problems with the multiverse theory, but Alvin Plantinga has noticed something else about it. He has demonstrated in the form of an analogy. It goes like this. Imagine yourself at a poker game. One of the other players is dealing the cards, and for the past 20 hands, he has dealt himself 4 aces each turn. After the last hand, you and the other players get up ready to shoot the guy. But suddenly the dealer says, "I know it looks suspicious, guys, but possibly there is an infinite succession of universes, so that for any possible distribution of possible poker hands, there is a universe in which that possibility is realized. We just happen to find ourselves in the one where someone like me always deals himself only aces and wild cards without ever cheating. It could be the case you can't prove I'm cheating." So if you were at the game, how would you respond? Would you sit back down and assume that could be the case and keep playing? Or would you recognize that possibility is exceptionally rare, and it is far more likely the dealer is cheating? That it is far more likely intelligence was used in instituting where the cards are going, and it is not random chance that the aces keep ending up in the dealer's hand. That is exactly the same idea behind the fine-tuning argument. In everyday life, when we encounter situations that seem to be rigged, we do not assume it is chance. We know intelligent design when we see it. It could be the case that it is just random chance, but we know the odds are never in that favor. So when we encounter odds like the ratio of electromagnetic force to gravity being finely tuned to 1 part in 10 to the 40th power, or the cosmological constant being finely tuned to 1 part in 10 to the 120th power, logically we shouldn't say, well, it's possible by accidental chance there is a trillion universes, and we just happen to be in the one that is capable of producing life. Especially when we encounter odds that high in a possible situation in life, like a poker game, we wouldn't believe it is just random chance. So although the fine-tuning argument cannot prove the existence of an intelligent designer, it shows us that the existence of God is far more logical than everything just happening by random chance.
In response to the fine-tuning of the universe as possibly a pointer towards God, we're sometimes told that a multiverse does away with the need for this appearance of design. You know, we just happen to be in one of billions of universes in which the properties required for life to exist as we know it are in place. This multiverse gets a bit of a run. What's your response to it?
I would say that even if a multiverse exists, it does not explain the fine-tuning. This point has been made very forcefully by Roger Penrose of Oxford University. What Penrose points out is it is incomprehensibly more probable that our solar system would just instantaneously form through the random collision of particles than that a finely tuned universe would exist. What that means is that there are far more universes in this multiverse in which observers form just by the random collision of particles than finely tuned worlds. So if we were just a random member of a multiverse, we ought to be observing an island of order no bigger than our solar system, because that's incomprehensibly more probable than a finely tuned universe. In fact, the most probable observable universe would be a universe in which a single brain fluctuates into existence out of the quantum vacuum and observes its otherwise empty world. So if we were just a random member of a multiverse, we ought to be having observations like that. And since we don't, that strongly disconfirms the multiverse hypothesis.
It isn't even a theory. It's a collection of ideas, hopes, aspirations.
Exactly.
It's not even a theory. And I think the book is a bit misleading in that respect. It gives you the impression that here is this new theory which is going to explain everything. It's nothing of the sort. It's not even a theory, and it certainly has no observational... partly it's this 10 to the 500 you refer to.
This is one of the interesting aspects of what he appears to be saying is that M theory shows that the universe can create itself, so to speak, out of nothing. I mean, is that something which science can ever really tell us or be definitive? Take a stance
Certainly not doing it yet. I think the book suffers rather more strongly than many. I mean, it's not an uncommon thing in popular descriptions of science to latch on to some idea, particularly things to do with string theory, which have absolutely no support from observation. They're just nice ideas that people have tried to explore.
But they will always remain theoretical. I mean,
always is too strong. It may well be they just be refuted, but even that is something which is they're very far from any kind of observational
or testability.
Test, yes, they're hardly science.